There is one thing in this deafening clamor about the AI and its impact on our job prospects in the future that nobody is telling you. You are not powerless. Yes, the AI technology is amazing and it will change the world for better or for worse, but it's simply not true that it will replace all of us anytime soon. At least not if we have a choice. But what kind of choice? In this video, I want to show you how you can learn a skill that will make your future AI resistant, your job safe, and your options open no matter your interests or career. How you can actually have a say in deciding your future. More precisely, I'll tell you about how to develop and retain the skill of critical thinking in a world in which almost any other human skill is up for grabs. I'm a professor of critical thinking. I've been teaching it for more than a decade, and I learned things about it that go against the grain of mainstream education. Today, I'll share these things with you. To develop this skill, you first need to understand it. But critical thinking is a notoriously vague concept. Many people believe that there isn't such a thing at all. You're either smart in what you do or you're not. Still, it's undeniable that many smart and successful people have thinking skills that transfer from one area to another. A genius scientist will usually make good choices about food, finance, or politics. A smart artist will have informed opinions about computers or engineering. So what is this thing that they both have and that we call critical thinking? I like to think of it as the process of aligning the structures in your mind with the structures in reality. Unlike most professors who teach critical thinking as a practice of good argumentation, rhetoric, or skepticism, I believe critical thinking is about making sure your mental model actually matches what's going on in the world. A good example of someone who lacks critical thinking is an educated person who believes dumb things, say a ridiculous political ideology or a conspiracy theory. They may be intelligent, but if their mental structure fails to match the reality on the ground, they're not thinking right. But how to avoid this? How can we make sure the structures in our mind match the structures in reality? I've identified 4 types of structural mismatches that prevent most people from thinking critically. Addressing each of them will help you think better. Number 1 is treating uncertainty as certainty. Most things in life are probabilities, but we turn them into yes or no stories. For example, AI will take all the jobs or it won't. This diet either works or it doesn't. This investment is either safe or not safe. Instead of thinking about reality in this binary fashion, we should ask about the probabilities. How likely or unlikely are some things? Most decisions are actually bets. We just pretend they're facts. Number 2 is confusing the map with terrain. All explanations of the world we have are just tools for understanding the truth, and not the truth itself. For example, theories about gender, government, or economics. Instead of accepting any explanation or theory as either absolutely true or absolutely wrong, check where the explanation guesses right and where it doesn't. No explanation is perfect, and looking at their edge cases can tell us a lot about their usefulness. Number 3 is mistaking a correlation with the cause. Just because 2 things occur together, it doesn't mean one causes another. There could be hidden factors causing both. For example, just because more screen time correlates with anxiety doesn't mean that screen time causes anxiety. It could be the other way around, or there could be something else causing both. Number 4 is thinking at the wrong level. We often jump from one story to a universal law. For example, you may look at Mark Zuckerberg, who dropped out of college and became rich by focusing on his business, and think that doing the same is a good idea. But instead of looking at individual examples, we have to focus on the pattern. One data point is not a distribution. Now, if you prevent these 4 mismatches, your thinking will significantly improve. But how can that protect you from being replaced by AI? This may sound implausible to you, but you actually can think much better than AI. I don't say that because I think AI is unimpressive. Quite the contrary, I think it's an amazing technology and I welcome it in my life. AI is great at pattern recognition. It can summarize, imitate, and help us achieve our goals. But the current AI doesn't inhabit your local reality. It operates on statistical regularities of language, doesn't bear any consequences, and cannot decide what mental structure fits best with your reality. If you ask a chatbot, whether you should quit your job. It will give you market trends, advice patterns, or psychological frameworks, but it has no idea about your risk tolerance. It cannot assess your actual constraints and cannot weigh your real uncertainty. Only you can do that. And these kinds of decisions require structural judgment. So how can you put this lesson to practice? Here's how. Learn to develop 3 daily habits. First, always quantify uncertainty. Instead of saying, I think that X is true, say, I'm 60% confident that X is true. Put a number to your confidence. Over time, you'll discover how wrong you usually are, and it will help you calibrate your beliefs. Second, always identify the model you're using to explain something. Force yourself to identify the assumptions you're making when you decide that some explanation is true. For example, if you think you're bad at math, stop and ask, am I assuming that math ability is fixed, unchangeable? Finally, separate the story from the structure. When you hear a claim, ask, is this a story, a statistic, or a causal mechanism? If you develop these habits, you don't have to worry about AI replacing you or taking your job away. The future won't belong to people who compete with AI at speed of execution or the quantity of information. It will belong to people who know what structure matters. If you want to go deeper and develop more fundamental skills of critical thinking, there are a few other things you can do. For one, you can take a professional diagnostic test linked in the description of this video and get a free syllabus with resources and links to develop better thinking habits. Also, you can subscribe to this channel and be a part of the upcoming conversations and lessons we'll have. This is Think Why, your critical thinking professor. See you next time.